My best friend's mom spotted me on a blind date and asked, "Why haven't you ever asked me out?" Yet here he was, standing outside a floating cafe in the middle of the bustling city of New Lyria, nervously adjusting his jacket. The holographic signs above him flickered with alien scripts, translating automatically into English. "Welcome to Cafe Nebula, the finest galactic cuisine," he sighed. Humans had always been curious, inventive, and surprisingly resilient. But on a blind date, all that mattered was small talk and pretending to be someone he was. His best friend, Leo, had insisted, waving his hands dramatically over the holographic table menu. "Alex, you have to go. I set it up through the neural social network. Trust me, she's perfect for you," Alex had protested, of course. "Leo, I don't even know this person. How am I supposed to talk to them?" Leo had shrugged. "You're human. Humans are unpredictable. You'll figure it out." And so, reluctantly, Alex had agreed. The cafe floated on a platform above the city, held aloft by anti-gravity thrusters and shimmering force fields. Around him, humans and aliens of all shapes and sizes mingled. Some had 3 eyes, some had wings, and some, like Alex, looked completely ordinary. But in a galaxy that had spanned hundreds of star systems, ordinary humans had a reputation. Clever, creative, and capable of solving problems that no other species could. Alex didn't feel clever right now. He felt nervous. As he looked around, trying to calm himself, he noticed a humanoid figure at the edge of the cafe. The person was tall, with striking features that didn't quite match any known species. Every time Alex glanced over, the figure seemed to glance back. A chill ran down his spine. Why was someone watching him so intently? Before he could think more, the holographic table indicator blinked. "Your date has arrived." A young woman stepped through the floating doors, smiling politely. She had bright eyes, a confident stride, and a nervous energy that matched his own. Alex forced himself to stand a little taller, smoothing his jacket again. "Hi," he said awkwardly. "Hi," she replied. "You must be Alex." They sat down, and for a moment they exchanged the usual polite conversation: favorite foods, hobbies, work, and school. Alex felt himself relax slightly until he heard a voice that froze him in place. "Alex Vance." It was a low, confident voice that seemed to fill the air. Alex turned slowly. His eyes widened in disbelief. Dr. Alina Vance, his best friend Leo's mother, was standing there, and she wasn't disguised or hiding in any way. Her tall, commanding presence drew the attention of everyone in the cafe. She wore a professional suit with subtle armor plating that glinted faintly under the lights. Her eyes, sharp and intelligent, locked onto him. "Why haven't you ever asked me out?" she asked, her tone playful but direct. Alex's jaw dropped. He choked on the words he hadn't even started to speak. I what?" The woman raised an eyebrow, her lips curved in a teasing smile. "You heard me, Alex, why not me?" His date blinked, clearly confused, while Alex's brain tried to process what was happening. This wasn't part of any blind date protocol he had been warned about in the Human Dating Guide. This was insane. I thought you," Alex began, but he stopped. He couldn't think. How could he even answer that? He had always seen Dr. Vance as his best friend's mother, intelligent, brave, sometimes terrifying, and always sharp as a laser blade. He had never imagined this. "Doctor." Vance leaned casually against the floating railing, her presence commanding attention. "Relax, Alex. I'm not serious about that entirely. But I've been watching humans for a long time. You have a reputation, you know." Alex frowned. "A reputation." She smiled, the kind of smile that made people sit up straighter without realizing it. "Humans are clever, unpredictable, creative in ways that no other species seems to manage. I've seen what you can do when you're faced with problems no one else can solve. And I wanted to see it for myself." Alex swallowed hard. "Wait, you've been watching me." Dr. Vance's smile widened slightly. "Carefully, quietly, discreetly. "You're interesting, Alex, and I wanted to see how a human handles a situation like this." Alex felt his heart racing. He had always been proud of being human, but he hadn't realized anyone in the galaxy was watching him in particular. The idea that he was part of some kind of test was equal parts thrilling and terrifying. I, I don't know what to say," he admitted. "Say nothing, Doctor." Vance replied, her tone shifting slightly. "Just show me who you are, the real you. That's the human I'm interested in." Alex glanced at his date, who looked increasingly uncomfortable. He hated to leave her hanging, but this situation was unprecedented. He had been thrown into something bigger than a blind date, something galactic. Maybe we can talk later," he stammered to his date. "I have something unexpected to handle." His date hesitated, then nodded. "Sure, okay." She smiled nervously and walked toward the cafe exit. Once she was gone, Alex turned back to Dr. Vance. "So, what exactly do you want from me?" she chuckled softly. "I want to see how far your human ingenuity can take you. You're clever, Alex, but cleverness alone isn't enough. You have to be brave, resourceful, and creative under pressure. There's a series of tasks, challenges, really, that will test your skills. If you succeed, I'll know why humans deserve their reputation." Alex blinked. "Tasks, challenges, are you serious?" "As serious as a galactic diplomat can be," she said. Her eyes twinkled with amusement. "Consider this a game of wits and courage. And yes, you're human. You have an advantage. Humans have always been unpredictable. But the challenges aren't easy." Alex's stomach twisted. He wanted to run, to escape, to pretend none of this was happening. But something inside him sparked. A sense of pride, a rush of adrenaline. Humans were known across the galaxy for their creativity, their ability to improvise, and their courage. And now he had a chance to prove it. "What's the first challenge?" he asked, his voice steadier than he expected. Dr. Vance smiled approvingly. "You'll start here in the city. Each challenge will take you across the floating districts of New Lyria. You'll encounter problems, puzzles, and situations that will force you to think differently. And yes, some of the solutions might surprise even me." Alex took a deep breath. He looked around the cafe, at the floating platforms, at the bustling aliens and humans mingling together. He realized something important. This wasn't just about a blind date anymore. This was about being human in a galaxy that underestimated them. "And if I fail?" he asked cautiously. Dr. Vance shrugged. "Then I learn more about your species, but I doubt you'll fail. Humans have a habit of finding solutions that no one else can even imagine." Alex felt a mixture of fear and excitement. He didn't know what the challenges would be, how difficult they would get, or what kind of dangers awaited him. But he did know one thing: he was ready to try. Humans were clever, resourceful, and capable of amazing things. And now it was his time to prove it, not just to Dr. Vance, but to himself. As the cafe doors slid open and the neon lights of New Lyria reflected on his jacket, Alex took the first step toward his unexpected adventure. The city stretched out before him, a maze of floating platforms, alien architectures, and endless possibilities. Somewhere in the distance, the first challenge awaited. And as he walked forward, he couldn't help but think, maybe humans really could surprise the galaxy. The city of New Lyria stretched out before Alex like a living puzzle. Floating platforms hovered over rivers of glowing energy. Twisting towers spiraled toward the sky, and holographic signs blinked messages in dozens of alien languages. The air smelled faintly of ozone and roasted synth coffee, and somewhere in the distance, the low hum of anti-gravity thrusters filled the air. Alex took a deep breath, gripping his jacket as he stepped onto the nearest platform. Each platform was connected by narrow bridges or invisible force fields that shimmered faintly when touched. He had no idea what his first challenge might be, but Dr. Vance's words echoed in his mind. "Show me the human I'm interested in. Clever, brave, resourceful." "Right," he muttered to himself. "Time to prove humans aren't just ordinary." He glanced around and noticed a small, hovering drone waiting for him at the edge of the platform. Its sleek silver body reflected the neon lights of the city, and a holographic panel projected words in English. "Welcome, Alex Vance. Your first task, retrieve the lost data core from the abandoned district. Avoid detection and bring it back intact. Good luck." Alex stared at the drone. "Abandoned district," he muttered. He had heard stories about that place. It was once a thriving hub of interstellar commerce, but after a mysterious energy surge, it had been evacuated and declared unsafe. No one went there unless they had a reason or were extremely foolish. Still, he had no choice. This was the test. Taking a deep breath, he stepped onto the bridge leading to the abandoned district, feeling the slight wobble under his weight. The city stretched out below him, and for a moment he felt dizzy. But then he reminded himself, humans were explorers, adventurers, survivors. He had to think like one. The abandoned district was darker than the main city, with flickering lights and broken platforms. Rusted machinery groaned in the wind, and holographic advertisements flickered in strange, garbled patterns. The atmosphere was eerie, almost as if the district itself was holding its breath. Alex kept moving, careful to avoid unstable platforms and broken railings. As he approached the first building, the drone's voice buzzed again. "Obstacle 1, locked entrance. Security system active. You may bypass it using ingenuity, stealth, or negotiation." Alex frowned. Locked doors and security systems were nothing new. He had spent countless hours tinkering with tech back home, fixing gadgets and hacking outdated systems. But this security was advanced, even alien. He crouched by the door and examined the panel. Lines of glowing symbols shifted continuously, a language he didn't recognize. "All right, humans are clever," he muttered. "Let's see what we can do." He pulled out his portable translator and connected it to the panel. The device hummed as it scanned the symbols, analyzing patterns. After a few minutes, it displayed a simplified interface, a puzzle of sequences he could manipulate. Alex's fingers moved quickly, arranging symbols, testing combinations, and improvising solutions. Finally, with a soft click, the door unlocked. He exhaled, a small smile forming on his lips. "Clever, brave, resourceful," he muttered. "Step 1 complete." Inside, the building was dark and quiet, filled with corridors of broken machinery and flickering lights. He moved carefully, scanning for the data core. According to the drone, it was located at the top of the building in a secure chamber. But the path wasn't simple. Strange, alien defense mechanisms lurked in the shadows. Automated turrets, motion sensors, and robotic guards patrolled the halls. Alex froze as one guard rounded the corner. It was a tall, silver humanoid with glowing eyes and heavy armor. He had no weapons. He wasn't supposed to fight. He had to think. Humans were unpredictable. That was his advantage. He remembered an old trick he had used while tinkering with drones back home. He quickly found a loose panel on the wall and pulled out a small, reflective disc from his pocket. Tossing it onto the floor, he angled it so the guard's sensors detected movement elsewhere. The guard paused, then moved toward the reflection, leaving a clear path for Alex. "Not bad," he whispered to himself. "Humans can be clever when they need to be." As he climbed higher in the building, he encountered more obstacles: crumbling platforms, energy barriers, and encrypted doors. Each time he improvised, building makeshift bridges from debris, using reflective surfaces to misdirect sensors, and deciphering alien code with his portable translator. With every challenge, his confidence grew. Finally, he reached the chamber where the data core was kept. It floated in the center of the room, surrounded by a holographic security field. The core glowed with a soft blue light, pulsing rhythmically. But there was a final puzzle, a series of alien glyphs surrounding the field, each connected by beams of energy. Touch the wrong glyph, and the field would lock permanently, or worse, trigger alarms. Alex examined the pattern. To an alien, it might have been impossible, but humans had a knack for seeing connections others missed. He studied the symbols carefully, noticing subtle repetitions and alignments. Slowly, he reached out, pressing the glyphs in a sequence that made sense to him. The field shimmered, pulsed, and then dissipated. Alex grabbed the data core and held it carefully. Success. Humans are unpredictable, he muttered with a grin. And that's why we survive. As he turned to leave, the building trembled. The old machinery groaned and sparks flew from broken panels. The abandoned district wasn't just abandoned, it was unstable. Platforms shifted, and parts of the floor collapsed. Alex had to think fast. Using his knowledge of physics and improvisation, he jumped across falling platforms, grabbed debris to create temporary bridges, and slid down energy conduits like a thrill seeker. Each movement was risky, but he trusted his instincts. He was human, after all, adaptable, daring, and quick thinking. Finally, he burst out of the building, data core in hand, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with streaks of purple and orange. He leaned against the railing of the platform, catching his breath, and felt a surge of pride. The drone buzzed beside him. Obstacle complete. Return to starting point for evaluation. Alex nodded. Piece of cake, he muttered, though he was still shaking slightly from the adrenaline. Back at the cafe, Dr. Vance waited. She had moved quietly while he completed the challenge, observing from a distance. Her sharp eyes scanned him as he approached, holding the data core carefully. Impressive, she said simply. You solved the puzzle, bypassed security, and adapted to the environment. Not bad for a human. Alex blinked, surprised by the praise. Really? That was enough. She smirked. Enough to show me why humans are unique. Your species has a talent for improvisation and problem-solving that no other species seems to match, and you handled it with courage. That's rare. Alex felt a warm glow of pride. He had always known humans could do extraordinary things, but hearing it from someone like Dr. Vance made it real. Thank you, he said quietly. I guess I never realized how much humans can actually do until now. Dr. Vance's expression softened slightly. That's the point, Alex. Humans often underestimate themselves, but when the situation demands it, you surprise everyone, including me. For a moment, they stood in silence, watching the neon lights of New Lyria flicker across the floating platforms. Alex felt a sense of belonging, of purpose. He wasn't just proving himself to Dr. Vance, he was proving the value of humans in a galaxy that often overlooked them. You've done well today, she said finally. Rest for now. The next challenge will be harder. But I have no doubt you'll rise to it. Humans are exceptional. Alex nodded, gripping the data core tightly. He felt a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. Today had been terrifying, exciting, and strangely satisfying. As he walked back toward the main district, he couldn't help but grin. Humans were clever, brave, and resourceful, and he had just proved it, not to the galaxy, not yet, but to himself. Somewhere in the distance, the city hummed with energy, promising more challenges, more puzzles, and more opportunities to show what humans could do. Alex felt ready for whatever came next. After all, humans were not just survivors. They were problem solvers, innovators, and risk-takers, and he was one of them. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the city. Sunlight filtered through the tall, spiraling towers of New Lyria, bouncing off the hovering platforms and casting long, golden reflections onto the streets below. He rubbed his eyes and sat up, stretching. Yesterday's challenge still raced through his mind. The abandoned district, the crumbling platforms, the data core he had retrieved. Every step had tested his ingenuity, his courage, and his quick thinking. A soft chime from his communicator caught his attention. The holographic display flickered to life, and Dr. Elena Vance's face appeared, her expression serious yet calm. "Good morning, Alex," she said. "I hope you're rested. Your next challenge will be different from the first. Today you won't be alone." Alex frowned. "Not alone." No, Dr. Vance replied. You will work with a team. Other humans and aliens will participate, but you will be the leader. You'll need to coordinate, adapt, and make decisions quickly. Teamwork will be tested alongside individual skill. Alex's stomach twisted. Leadership wasn't his strongest suit. He was clever, brave, and resourceful, yes, but leading a team under pressure, that was a whole new level. You'll find your team waiting at the training hub, Dr. Vance continued. Be there in 30 minutes. And remember, humans are unpredictable. Use that to your advantage. The display went dark, leaving Alex staring at the communicator. 30 minutes. That was all the time he had to prepare. He grabbed his jacket, double-checked his gear, and headed out into the city. The training hub was a floating arena in the heart of New Lyria, surrounded by shimmering energy barriers. Inside, the space was vast, filled with platforms, ramps, and holographic projectors. Other participants were already assembling, a mix of humans and aliens, each looking ready for action. Some had armor, some carried strange tools, and some, like Alex, carried only ingenuity and confidence. Welcome, a robotic voice announced. The team challenge will test strategy, coordination, and problem-solving under pressure. You will be scored individually and collectively. Begin when ready. Alex scanned the group. One human looked calm and calculated, flipping through a digital map of the arena. An alien with 4 arms and glowing blue skin flexed, ready for action. Another, a small, winged creature, hovered nervously nearby, twitching its antennas. Alex swallowed. This was going to be complicated. He had no idea how to lead such a diverse team, but he reminded himself of Dr. Vance's words. Humans are unpredictable. Maybe that unpredictability could be an advantage. He stepped forward. Okay, everyone, he said, trying to sound confident. We have to work together to complete the course. It's not just about strength or speed. It's about thinking, planning, and improvising. Follow my lead and we'll get through this. The group looked at him uncertainly, but nodded. Alex felt a spark of determination. Humans might be unpredictable, but humans could inspire others. The first obstacle appeared almost immediately, a series of moving platforms suspended over a pit of glowing energy. Sensors activated as soon as anyone stepped onto the first platform, shifting the paths unpredictably. One wrong move and they would be knocked into the pit. Alex took a deep breath. We need a plan, he said. We can't just rush through. Watch the pattern, time your jumps, and help each other. He led the group carefully, stepping onto the first platform. It wobbled but held. He glanced at the alien with 4 arms, signaling which direction to move. The winged creature flapped its wings nervously, but Alex encouraged it. You can do this. Trust yourself. One by one, the team followed, and slowly they crossed the platforms. Alex's human ingenuity showed in subtle ways. He placed small reflective panels to anticipate sensor triggers, used his quick calculations to time jumps perfectly, and encouraged his teammates when they hesitated. By the time they reached solid ground, they were exhausted but intact. The next challenge was a puzzle room filled with holographic locks and shifting walls. Each team member had different abilities. The 4-armed alien could manipulate multiple panels at once, the winged creature could reach high platforms, and the human could analyze patterns quickly. Alex realized that his role wasn't to solve the puzzle alone, it was to coordinate the team. Everyone focus on your strengths, he instructed. We need to activate the panels in this sequence. He guided the team through trial and error, testing combinations and adjusting the plan as walls shifted. The winged creature soared to activate a panel high above, while the 4-armed alien manipulated 3 panels simultaneously. The other human analyzed the patterns, predicting the next movement of the walls. Finally, with a soft chime, the room unlocked. Alex grinned. Good work, team. That's what humans and our allies can do when we work together. The third part of the course tested speed and decision-making. A holographic projection of a collapsing city appeared, and the team had to retrieve data fragments scattered throughout the simulation. Each fragment was protected by a different challenge, a maze, a logic puzzle, and a timed obstacle course. Alex noticed that some of the alien participants were overthinking, relying on brute force or rigid calculations. Humans were different. They adapted, improvised, and noticed details others missed. Alex shouted instructions but also gave his teammates freedom to experiment. "Try the left path," he called to one alien. "See if it triggers anything, don't overthink it." To his delight, the alien hesitated, then tried the suggestion. The path opened, revealing the first data fragment. Alex felt a surge of pride. Humans weren't just clever, they could inspire others to think differently. As they moved through the challenges, Alex's leadership grew stronger. He realized that being human wasn't just about intelligence or bravery. It was about adaptability, creativity, and trust. The team responded to his guidance, and together, they navigated the obstacles faster than any individual could have. Finally, the last challenge appeared, a simulated crisis in which a colony on a distant planet was under threat from a rogue asteroid. The team had to calculate trajectories, deploy defense systems, and coordinate rescue efforts, all under extreme time pressure. Alex took a deep breath. This was it, the ultimate test of strategy, improvisation, and leadership. "Okay," he said, stepping forward. "Humans have a habit of thinking outside the rules. Let's use that. Everyone focus on what you do best. Follow my plan but adapt if necessary. We can do this." The team sprang into action. The winged creature mapped escape routes. The four-armed alien deployed shields and barriers. The other human calculated trajectories, and Alex coordinated the timing. When an unexpected obstacle appeared, a glitch in the simulation, Alex improvised, rerouting the asteroid's path using a combination of shields and gravitational manipulation. The simulation ended with a soft chime. The team had succeeded. Alex exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. Dr. Vance appeared on the holographic display, her expression serious but approving. "Well done, Alex. You didn't just solve the challenges, you led a team. You adapted, improvised, and inspired others. That is the human advantage. You have shown that humans are not only clever individually, but capable of guiding others and creating solutions no other species could imagine." Alex felt a rush of pride. He had always known humans could be special, but now he had experienced it firsthand, leading a team, solving complex problems, and seeing the results of human ingenuity in action. The team gathered afterward, smiling and exchanging stories. Even the alien participants seemed impressed by Alex's leadership and creativity. "You're different," the four-armed alien said, flexing its limbs. "Your species thinks in ways I've never seen. It's fascinating," Alex smiled. "Thanks. We humans have a habit of surprising people." As the sun set over New Lyria, casting long shadows across the floating platforms, Alex realized that this challenge had changed him. He had learned that being human wasn't just about cleverness. It was about adaptability, courage, and the ability to inspire others. And with more challenges ahead, he felt ready. Dr. Vance's final words echoed in his mind. "Humans are exceptional," Alex grinned. He couldn't wait to see what the next test would be. The city of New Lyria gleamed under the artificial stars projected by the floating platforms. The neon glow reflected off the polished metal of the training hub as Alex approached. Today's challenge was unlike any he had faced before. Dr. Elena Vance had made it clear. This would test not only his intelligence and teamwork, but his ability to solve a problem that could determine the fate of an entire colony. Alex's stomach twisted. He had handled puzzles, security systems, and even led a team through complex obstacles. But now, he faced a simulated galactic crisis, an entire colony threatened by a rogue asteroid and potential hostile forces. Inside the arena, the floor transformed into a three-dimensional projection of a distant planet. Tiny holographic cities dotted the surface, and above them, a massive asteroid hurtled toward impact. In orbit, simulated enemy ships began to approach, firing beams and creating chaos. Alex glanced around at the other participants. Humans and aliens alike looked tense, their faces illuminated by the glowing simulation. His human teammates had experienced challenges before, but nothing like this. The simulation was dynamic, unpredictable, and dangerous. Dr. Vance's voice echoed through the arena. Alex Vance, your task is to save the colony. You will coordinate defenses, predict asteroid paths, and prevent enemy attacks. Time is limited. Decisions must be made quickly. Humans have a reputation for ingenuity. Let's see if it holds true under extreme pressure. Alex took a deep breath. Humans survived against odds that others thought impossible. This was no different. All right, team, he said, stepping forward. We've trained for challenges, but this is different. We have to think quickly, adapt, and use every advantage we have. Remember what humans are good at: improvising, noticing patterns, and solving problems no one else can. Let's do this. The simulation began. Holographic alerts flashed across the cityscape as the asteroid drew closer. Enemy ships fired intermittently, testing the team's coordination. The first task was to calculate the asteroid's trajectory and deploy defense systems to prevent impact. Alex studied the holographic data. Alien participants relied on rigid calculations, predicting the asteroid's path in standard linear ways. Alex, however, noticed subtle fluctuations in the asteroid's energy field, tiny irregularities that could be exploited. Listen, he said, pointing to the holographic display. The asteroid's trajectory isn't stable. If we manipulate the planetary shields in a specific pattern, we can deflect it without relying on brute force. The team hesitated. Alien instincts favored direct, mechanical solutions. But Alex's confidence and clarity inspired them to follow his plan. He assigned tasks. The four-armed alien would control the energy manipulators, the winged creature would adjust shield angles, and the other human would monitor fluctuations and feed corrections to the system. Step by step, they worked together, adjusting the shields in real time. The asteroid wavered, then changed course, narrowly missing the main colony. Alex felt a surge of pride. Humans could solve problems others couldn't, and he had just proved it in the most literal sense. But there was no time to celebrate. Enemy ships had moved closer, firing more aggressively. Energy beams lanced toward the city, threatening civilian structures. Alex scanned the holographic battlefield. Direct retaliation would be costly and risky. Then an idea struck him. Humans didn't always fight head-on. They used strategy, creativity, and deception. Deploy decoys, he shouted. Use the holographic projections to confuse their targeting systems. Lead them away from the city and toward the asteroid debris field. The team executed the plan. Holographic decoys sprang to life, shimmering like real ships. Enemy sensors were fooled and their attacks scattered harmlessly across empty space. The city was safe. Alex's heart raced. Every decision mattered, every second counted. Humans thrived under pressure because they adapted, and that adaptability was his greatest weapon. The next challenge was internal. The colony's energy core was destabilizing due to the asteroid's gravitational pull. If it overloaded, it could destroy the city from within. Alex examined the data. Standard procedures recommended evacuating and letting the core shut down, but humans didn't accept defeat, they solved problems. Calibrate the stabilizers in a triangular sequence, he instructed. We can redistribute the energy before it overloads. Trust me? The alien participants looked skeptical, but they trusted him. Alex worked quickly, guiding the team through the complex recalibration. Sparks and holographic warnings flashed across the floor as the energy core stabilized. The city's lights dimmed briefly, then returned to normal. A cheer erupted from his human teammates. Even the aliens seemed impressed, exchanging glances that spoke of quiet admiration. Alex felt a swell of pride, not just for himself but for his species. Humans were capable of remarkable feats, and here, in the middle of a simulated galactic disaster, that fact was undeniable. But the simulation wasn't over. The final stage was the most unpredictable. A communication blackout had left parts of the colony isolated. Holographic citizens were trapped in dangerous zones, and enemy forces had regained awareness of the city's defenses. Alex realized this was a test of human empathy, intuition, and improvisation. "Split into pairs," he instructed. "Rescue the citizens while maintaining defenses. Watch each other's backs. Humans survive by thinking, caring, and acting together." He led his team through the simulation with careful precision. The winged creature swooped down to rescue citizens trapped on high platforms, while the four-armed alien cleared debris and activated emergency systems. Alex coordinated movements, guided decisions, and even improvised solutions on the fly, like creating a temporary energy bridge to save a group of trapped holographic citizens. Time and again, humans' unpredictability gave them an edge. Aliens might have been stronger or faster, but humans saw possibilities others didn't. Alex's strategies were flexible, creative, and empathetic, exactly the qualities that made humans exceptional. As the last holographic citizen was safely evacuated, the enemy ships retreated, and the asteroid was permanently diverted. The simulation ended. The arena went dark for a moment, and then Dr. Vance appeared, her expression a mixture of pride and astonishment. "Alex Vance," she said, her voice calm but filled with approval. "You have done what no other participant could. You solved a dynamic, multi-layered crisis using strategy, creativity, and teamwork. You led your team under pressure, adapted to unpredictable circumstances, and protected lives. That is the human advantage. Exceptional." Alex felt a wave of relief and pride. His chest swelled with satisfaction. He had not only survived the simulation but had demonstrated the strength of human ingenuity, empathy, and courage. "Thank you," he said quietly, almost in disbelief. I guess humans really are exceptional." Dr. Vance's gaze softened slightly. "Exceptional, yes, but also underestimated. The galaxy often overlooks humans because they appear ordinary, but humans think differently, improvise, and persevere. You have proven that today." Alex glanced at his team. Even the alien participants were nodding, showing signs of respect. They had witnessed firsthand what humans could accomplish when they combined intelligence, courage, and adaptability. As he stepped out of the simulation arena, the neon lights of New Lyria reflected on his jacket. He felt a sense of pride, not just in his own abilities but in what humans could achieve. Each challenge had pushed him further, and each success had reinforced a truth he already knew. Humans were clever, brave, and resourceful. Dr. Vance approached, her expression lighter now. "You've done remarkably well, Alex. The challenges are designed to test more than skill, they test character. You've shown ingenuity, leadership, and compassion. That is what humans are known for, even across the galaxy." Alex smiled. I feel like I understand that now. Humans aren't just clever, we're adaptable. We can think, create, and inspire, even when the odds are against us." Dr. Vance nodded. "Exactly. And remember, these skills aren't just for simulations. The galaxy is unpredictable. Humans who can think differently, act decisively, and work together are invaluable." Alex looked out over the city. The floating platforms, the bustling citizens, and the neon lights reflected his determination. He had faced challenges that tested everything about him: his mind, his courage, and his ability to lead. And through it all, he had proven the power of human creativity. The day's challenges had ended, but Alex knew this was only the beginning. More tests, more puzzles, and more opportunities awaited. Each one would push him further, but he was ready. Humans thrived under pressure, and he had shown why. As he walked away from the arena, carrying the sense of accomplishment and pride with him, he couldn't help but feel excitement for what came next. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and mysteries, but humans could face them. They could think, adapt, and survive where others might fail. And Alex Vance, human, clever, and fearless, was ready to lead the way. The sun rose over New Lyria, painting the floating city in streaks of orange and gold. Alex Vance stretched, feeling the familiar buzz of adrenaline still lingering from the galactic simulation he had completed the day before. Every challenge, every obstacle, every split-second decision had tested him to his limits, and yet he had survived. More than that, he had thrived. Humans had a reputation in the galaxy, clever, resourceful, and unpredictable. Alex now understood why. Every problem he faced had required more than strength or speed. It demanded creativity, empathy, and the ability to adapt. The simulation had confirmed it. Humans could solve problems that no other species could even comprehend. His communicator beeped. Dr. Alina Vance's face appeared, her expression unreadable at first. Then a faint smile curved her lips. "Good morning, Alex," she said. "I hope you slept well. Today we conclude your evaluation." Alex's stomach twisted. This was it, the final assessment. He had completed challenges, led a team, and saved a simulated colony. But Dr. Vance had always emphasized that the final test was more than skill, it was character. "Where do I go?" Alex asked, trying to sound confident. "Meet me at the observation deck," she replied. "All participants will gather. I have something to share with you." Alex made his way to the observation deck, the floating platforms humming softly beneath his feet. The city below was alive, glowing with activity. Humans, aliens, and hybrids moved among the bridges and towers, unaware of the drama unfolding above. When he arrived, the deck was already filled with participants from all the challenges he had faced. They stood in small groups, talking quietly, waiting for Dr. Vance. She stepped onto the raised platform at the center, her presence commanding attention immediately. "Alex Vance," she began, her voice clear and firm, "you have completed all challenges presented to you. You have demonstrated intelligence, creativity, bravery, and leadership. But beyond that, you have shown qualities that are often overlooked in humans: empathy, adaptability, and the ability to inspire others." Alex felt his chest tighten. He had always been proud of being human, but hearing it recognized so formally by someone as accomplished as Dr. Vance was overwhelming. "You have led teams of mixed species through complex, unpredictable situations," she continued. "You have faced moral dilemmas, high-risk scenarios, and technical challenges, and you have done so not through brute force but through human ingenuity. You have proven that humans are capable of greatness beyond what many in the galaxy assume." Alex swallowed hard, trying to keep his excitement in check. "Thank you, Dr. Vance," he said quietly. I just did what I thought was right." Dr. Vance smiled. "Exactly. That is what makes humans remarkable. You act, you adapt, and you solve problems in ways others cannot. The galaxy underestimates you at its own peril." There was a pause as the other participants looked on, some nodding in respect, others clearly impressed. Even the aliens who had doubted his ideas in previous challenges now seemed to understand the strength of human thinking. Dr. Vance's gaze softened, and she stepped closer to Alex. "There is one more thing," she said, her tone lighter now. "I promised you unpredictability. I warned you that humans surprise others. Today, I want to acknowledge not just your success in the simulations, but the person you are: clever, resourceful, and courageous. You are exceptional, Alex Vance." Alex's face flushed. He had never imagined anyone would speak to him this way, let alone Dr. Vance. I don't know what to say," he admitted. "You don't need to say anything," she replied. Actions speak louder than words, and your actions have spoken volumes. Today, you have not only represented yourself, you have represented humanity. A wave of pride washed over Alex. All the challenges, the fear, the pressure, it had all led to this moment. Humans were underestimated, yes, but they were capable of extraordinary things. And he had proven it. Dr. Vance continued, addressing all the participants. Let this be a lesson. Humans may appear ordinary at first glance. They may be physically weaker than some species, slower than others, and seemingly fragile. But their greatest strength lies in their minds, their adaptability, and their courage. They can solve problems, inspire others, and thrive in ways no other species can. Alex Vance has shown you this today. The crowd applauded. Alex felt a mix of relief and exhilaration. He had done it. He had completed the final challenge, led his team to success, and demonstrated the unique power of being human. After the ceremony, Alex stepped aside, letting the others disperse. He looked out over the city, the floating platforms, the neon lights reflecting on his jacket. The view reminded him of how small he felt in a galaxy so vast, yet how significant one person and one species could be. Dr. Vance joined him, her presence calm and reassuring. You've grown through these challenges, Alex. I've watched you think, adapt, and lead. You've shown qualities that many overlook in humans. You've shown courage, intelligence, and empathy, and you've inspired others along the way. Alex smiled. I couldn't have done it without the team or without the challenges. They pushed me, forced me to think differently, and made me realize what humans are truly capable of. Dr. Vance nodded. Exactly. Humans often rise to the occasion when faced with impossible odds. They improvise, they inspire, and they persevere. You've proven this beyond doubt. For a moment, they stood together in silence, watching the city. Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, not in real life, but in simulations designed to mimic real galactic crises. And yet, he had risen to the occasion. Alex, Dr. Vance said finally, remember this. Humans are remarkable not because they are the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced. They are remarkable because they can think, adapt, and act where others fail. That is why you succeeded today. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that being human was more than just a species. It was a mindset. Resourcefulness, creativity, courage, and empathy were the traits that defined them, and he had embodied those traits in ways he hadn't known he could. I understand now, he said softly. Humans are special because we find solutions no one else can. We adapt, we survive, we think differently. Dr. Vance smiled. Exactly, and Alex, never forget that. You have shown not just your skill but your character. That is what truly matters. As he left the observation deck, Alex felt a lightness he hadn't known before. He had faced impossible challenges, survived under pressure, and proven the unique strength of humanity. And he had done it with courage, creativity, and integrity. Walking through the city, he reflected on the lessons of the past days. Every obstacle, every puzzle, every test had prepared him for something greater. The galaxy was full of uncertainty, but humans had the tools to navigate it: intelligence, adaptability, empathy, and the courage to act. He smiled, thinking of his best friend Leo, who had insisted he go on the blind date that had started this whole adventure. Thanks, Leo, he whispered. You were right. Humans are capable of more than I ever imagined. As he passed the floating bridges and neon-lit towers, he noticed children playing near the edge of a platform, humans and aliens mingling together. Alex realized that the future was full of possibilities, and humans had a role to play in shaping it. They could think, adapt, and rise to challenges that no one else could even imagine. And he, Alex Vance, had experienced that firsthand. Later, as he returned home, he received a final message from Dr. Vance. Remember, Alex, the galaxy will underestimate you. That is its mistake. Humans are clever, brave, and capable of remarkable things. Never forget it, and never stop surprising them. Alex smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges had ended, but his journey was just beginning. There were more puzzles to solve, more crises to face, and more opportunities to show the galaxy what humans could do. He looked out the window at the stars stretching across the sky, vast and endless. Somewhere out there, civilizations faced problems humans couldn't even imagine. But Alex knew one thing: humans could handle it. They could adapt, they could think, and they could thrive where others might fail. And he would be ready. After all, humans weren't just clever, they were extraordinary. And Alex Vance, human, brave, and resourceful, had proven it.